The smart cat and knows not to. Today I will be looking at the introduction to FortressCraft 2, or rather removing the introduction to FortressCraft 1, a whole bunch more. I think I'm ready to start tearing it out, and I'll just replace it initially with just a simple text readout. And the theory is whatever I do, I can make keyframe interval 2. Good lord. The idea is at this point that the inter-sequence is much more disconnected from the game than we were. So I'm just gonna make sure I've committed, because it's possible I'll break everything. Once committed, it is safe. I stream every day, Pete. It's hardly hype, is it? But thank you for the hype. I am a bit surprised, by the way, that everyone is chewing through PacketStorm so quickly. I might do another patch today. It's possible to like nerf it a bit. But I suspect it's probably better to have it a bit boringly easy for most people. Yeah, for most. I mean, yesterday we sold 10% of PacketStorm of the entire lifetime so far of Adapter. Yeah. Which is obviously a big pile of ridiculous. Oops, let's turn my speaker off because I'm not using it. Boop. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether or not I've got the difficulty right or wrong. I think the overclocking... The thing is, you can use it to complete a level, which is fine, I guess. I don't know. I'd rather everyone got it at how many sales? 7. It sounds less dramatic if I post it that way. Yeah, honestly, everything that's not FortressCraft is it. So far, Adapter has sold 161 copies, and PacketStorm has sold 7. Oh wait, hold on, no, that's not right. I think that includes keys. Yeah, retail activations, Steam units. I don't know. But yeah, it sold 7 copies, so... Ooh. Hang on, how? I don't think I've been on Steam for 19 years. Anyway. It didn't ship 1 million units overnight. But I didn't really expect it to. But it, you know, would have been nice. There used to be a flag I could flip to stop it ever opening anything at all, but I can't remember where it is, so I can't fix it. Excuse me. Let's get rid of that because we don't do that now. Is it intro manager? You know, I don't. Oh, do we just jam it on ourselves? Do we actually? Oh, it's a class. Ooh. Whoa. We don't get many of those in ever, in fact. By the way, my comment about how many copies PacketStorm had sold was more indicative of how few Adapter has sold rather than how many PacketStorm has sold. I like PacketStorm, I do. I'm a bit concerned Steve managed to complete it first time. But as we sold literally 7 copies so far, I can probably rebalance the RP gain a bunch. Unity, that thing. Okay. If ntext equals null, mtext null as equals null. It's just called pretentious message, which I rather like. I don't think I actually need to do anything else apart from strip the entry sequence of whatever, like whatever I don't want in there. Which will please me greatly. That's all I want to say, so that's fine. I think, honestly, as long as I don't dynamically load the anim, I think I'm not 90% of the way there. How's Australia doing anyway? I want to have the intro sequence go quicker than that. There we go. That's how the game looks with no intro sequence. But it does actually spawn a little bit quick still. We seem to be going straight to spawn base. Is that good? Was there a risk you were getting a different PM? Remember, right now, the entire rest of the world has only one of two news stories, which is at 3. India and Pakistan are going to have a nuclear war. England has decided that that Brexit is a good idea, and Trump and Kim didn't achieve anything. Well, I'm all saved, so there's nothing stopping me just going boink and deleting that and that. So now we should just get a camera that does not much else. So if the intro sequence is active, Unity will crash. No, there we go. Wait, hold on. Where's the camera? Oh, well, that's good then. I'm glad there was no backstabbing. I mean, it's not that I don't follow the politics of the entire world, but I don't follow the politics of the entire world in the slightest. It genuinely surprised me how upset people get about a lot of this stuff. Like, I've got a thing on my Facebook and I put it up there. A couple of years ago. Oh wow, hold on, I'm totally going to change the subject from my entire sentence. So much as other things, you can fly around the wipeout tracks in your browser. Oh my god, how much has technology come on? Holy god. Because the whole of wipeout was, I don't know, 40 megs maybe? Wow. That's amazing. If you never played wipeout, this means nothing to you. If you're not, 40 probably doesn't mean much to you either. That is absolutely amazing. It does say it's got music, though it's got the music. Unbelievable. So it wasn't the first Wipeout that was really the good one. Wipeout was unbelievable for one reason, and it wasn't really a technical one. So the original Wipeout was the game that made computer games cool. Okay, so before Wipeout, computer games were not cool. After Wipeout, computer games were cool. You could actually invite your mates back down from the pub and boot up Wipeout and play it. That was the change. That was the bit at which computer gaming was no longer the area for just nerds. I was just like how there's there's nothing outside of it, and that was again nowadays it's nothing. I mean, you get everyone plays computer games. I mean, it's not a surprising or unusual different thing really. Everyone plays computer games, but back then it was the just for nerds. But this game, it was the music did it wasn't the game, ironically, was the music. But yeah, that is fascinating. Good job, guys, whoever did that, bloody good job. But yes, before then computer games not cool, after the computer games cool. Okay, so I do need the camera. Might be intro camera. Yeah, I think it's that one. I wonder how long that's been broken, by the way, because I don't think it was me. I wonder where the cockpit is too. That's not actually active. Oh, I have other things attached. No, wait, no I don't. I actually just really like the other planet. Right, so what is that? What's it? Oh, that's the other. Yeah, okay. In case anyone's like, what's going? I last looked at this at like, oh, it was a long time ago. Why is it not animating on this camera? And then just because I can. And as I was saying, I put a Facebook post up before Brexit happened. I said, look, I don't think it'll actually make any difference. So if anyone I know, any of my friends, can actually demonstrate a way in which Brexit has definitely affected them, like in a way that you could definitely say hasn't, let me know, and I'll buy you a burger. But that said, shit has kicked off quite a lot since since I made that statement. So perhaps I was being a little optimistic, but hey. Yeah, just I've just been paying attention. I do that. Just paying attention to the just unbelievable genuinely learning how the hell our entire universe, our entire like ecosystem and all that is all sort of jumbled together these days, and it just doesn't work. The whole we can be our own entity, blah blah blah. Nah, that ain't happening. Not these days. Because I remember this. We had a Brazilian guy on here on the stream, and we were chatting about the price of video cards. And the price of video cards in Brazil is absolutely mind-boggling. And part of that is that the Brazilian government decided that they wanted to encourage Brazilian manufacturers and in industries, which is fine and sensible. And the way they did this was to put massive import tax, anything not from Brazil, which is, you know, to a degree, that's fine too. Yeah, however, that's not how it works, because Brazil don't make any video cards. So if you want to buy a video card, you have to pay I'll say a minor fortune. It's outrageous. The prices are ridiculous, like properly unbelievable. Like, I should put this into context, Peter. Even more than Australian prices for stuff, and as we all know, that really is quite something. It may even be that this works as a load sequence later on, but we will stick with that. That will do. I doubt it'll even last that long. Trust me, the prices of stuff in Australia is nothing compared to the prices of stuff in Brazil. Don't forget also, you are quite close to Japan, which does help. Right, what have I done? I just wanted something that doesn't look terrible. That's all I want. I don't want anything complicated. Ah, right, sorry. I thought you meant in Australia. I've been to Australia. It is quite expensive for some stuff, rather weirdly. I mean, I guess you do import nearly everything, which doesn't help. That will be part of it. That will do. Alright, so now the intro sequence is far stripped back, and also isn't like an explosion. Intro meteor. Wait, do we already have 2 directional lights? And then what I'll do is just tidy this up a little bit and slow it down a little bit. Not much, just a little bit. Because right now, it jams you into the game ever so quickly. I still want to make that quicker, but I want to make it slicker. So, pippity bump. Well, that doesn't work at all. Yay! Why not? Beavis. Okay, something must have been because then the entrance sequence didn't clean up afterwards. Oh, did you not get a Phoenix? I thought I sent you a Phoenix key. But sure, you can have a copy of the game with less features in it than FortressCraft. That's the one. Actually, let's not do that. Whatever that is. If I want to get rid of all of this stuff. I hate that stuff so much. Yeah, I think it's. I keep saying to people, look, I don't need help. I don't know. People say, I'm happy to bug test the game for you. I'm like, please don't bug test the game. Please don't. If you give me bugs, I'll be like, either I know or I don't care. I'm trying to explain this as joining a really exclusive club and getting a look in. It's a bit like going to a factory that hasn't opened yet and watching them going, hey, you know what? And you know you're not actually making any milk bottles here, mate. And they're like, yeah, we're not open for another 2 years. Yeah, but like if you like just like pour the milk into your coffee, no milk comes out. It's like, well, yeah, it's not done yet. So I need to keep that, because I've already had somebody going, oh, this works. I'm like, I just don't care. Like, honestly, in the nicest possible way, I don't care. Don't tell me. Just don't tell me. I don't care. Because I already know. More important than anything else, I already exactly know. What I don't know... it needs to be in deferred, not forward. Oh, wait, no, hold on. I played a few games last night on Xbox Game Pass, nearly all of which just annoyed the piss out of me. But one of them did have quite a nice way of hiding the loading. Actually, no, it didn't. It did the loading, and then did a thing after the loading, which could have been quite a nice way to hide the loading. And then I played a couple more games that just annoyed me, so I stopped. Like, as I've said, so Adapter, PacketStorm, all that, they are not perfect games, not by any means. But Adapter starts off, 5-second fly through, and then says, go play. So I played a game called Headlander, okay? And quite a nice looking game, quite nice movement, well written script, but oh god, you play the game for about 10 seconds and then there's a cutscene, and then you play the game for 15 seconds and then there's a cutscene, and then you play the game for a minute and then there's a cutscene, and it's just, oh my god, just over and over and over and over. It just, it's like they don't want you to play the game. It's like they don't want to write computer games. What they want to do is write stories, and unfortunately they have to sometimes dirty their hands with gameplay. Like, I want to get into like at least a good 10 or 15 minutes of platforming and fighting and combat before I have to sit through another cutscene. And I don't know quite, I really don't know quite what has made this happen in the games industry. Whether or not, say, a lot of the game developers are, they just want to be, you know, they want to write books or films, which I know a lot of them do. And that's fine, but I don't want to. I don't write computer games. But yeah, it just annoys the hell out of me. Genuinely annoys me. Not just a bit, it really annoys me. So I just stopped playing because I was just so pissed off. But I'm like, oh, another cutscene, another one. And the other game was called More, and won a whole bunch of awards when it came out. It's about 10 years old. And the animation is great on the little character, your little psychic. It's fantastic. And then after quite a short amount of time, I'm like, I don't want to watch my little sidekick animate and tell me how good I'm doing again. Okay, so that's not working. I don't know why it's so bloomy. And then we just need to wait. I can wait a bit longer. Then I need to fade down and fade up. So I'm gonna pad out the intro now a bit, because what's happening is I'm not. Right now, this is the minimum the intro can take. So that's fine, sort of, but why is it so weirdly bloomy? It's not. Oh, I think it's the cockpit. No, it's not that one, it's the other one. Boink. I don't think there's any light. That'd do it. So I think I can do this outside of this. See, that looks alright. So if that looks alright, that means it's the other one. Oh, that looks fine now. Brilliant! I fixed it by not changing anything. Okay, so what is... Wait, but... I'm confused. Why is that still glowing? Or is that not glow? That's just... That should no longer be glowing. Oh, it looks a bit better. I think if I do that, it just won't clear out the intro. That kind of looks alright, but that one doesn't too. But that... Have I got contrast or something running on the camera? I do. Oh wait, no, I need that to be black, don't I? I want that. With the Unity blur system, I hate it with such a passion. I only want I've got to specify focal distance, focal size, and aperture. All I want, yeah, is how far away it's not blurry, and then how far away from that when it is blurry. And that's it. I don't want anything else. I literally don't ever need anything else apart from that. That's genuinely the entire thing. Why can't you just let me do that, Unity? Why there's no option for what I want? Okay, so Excuse me. So I am still being a little bit ill off here. But yeah, they went with the same system as you might have if you were now why is it not blurry in the distance? Yeah, see, that's no go at all. What I want is I want the cockpit to be black and everything else to be white. I don't see why I should ever have to fiddle with 3 numbers. It should be 2 numbers. I mean, just the fact there's a visualize button kind of indicates willingness. There we go. And nearly. See, what I can do is do that, and then I can go, wow, and then it will sharpen up. But that would be fine for a minute, because then you can't see what's going on. Didn't actually resolve the issue I was trying to do, which was the, I think that's the contrast stretch. Yeah, maybe. Amazing. I like the way it didn't work. Oh, wait, the screen fade, yeah. So where do we actually deal with this screen fade? Okay. So that should then fade up from black. Where do we set up our pretentious? And that's nice. Yeah, pretentious, which is going to be important. Um, Welcome back. It's ironic, one of my biggest problems today is the intro sequence is happening too quickly. But it is dropping me into the world too quickly. I've got that down, but I need to wait a little bit longer. Oh, it doesn't know if I pause it, the generation continues. So I can't even pause it and make it take longer there. It's like here, I don't really understand what it's doing. It's fading out. And then it fades in, and then it fades in. Right, what? Right. The problem is that a lot of this is quite old Frankenstein-y code. It also doesn't help that we actually fade from black quite a lot of times, which is surprising. We use the teleporter. Teleport. What's this? Fade from black. Main menu cam script. It's probably just that one, intro manager, but there's also a loading control. I don't know what this is. Fading when? Actually, you know what would help is if I had to pass in the color always. Because then I could actually tell. But I think I'm only calling that the once. And this is when the intro manager is constructed. But I do think I can probably start the intro sequence much sooner, because the intro sequence should just be visuals. So if the world doesn't exist, I should know this far sooner than this, and I should be able to cover it up. I hope. But I've got comments at this. I don't know what this is achieving. So, the intro manager sets the base X to the default offset, fine. I then probably set the spawn X to the default offset plus a bit, which is wrong. I ain't even going to think about making Sky Islands work either. So we fade from black. I was like, when do we fade to black? Only twice. Cockpit intro. That's the main menu. That's fine. So this is where it fades up. Cockpit intro. That's just going to be immediately. It's not waiting for anything, is it? Do we instantiate this? No. Ah, right, okay, that's something. So what used to happen is I used to wait until the message had faded out. So I've got sort of weird circular dependencies, which is not good. What I should have had is an extra state here. So what I did is I just tore out the bit where I waited for the intro sequence to be ready. So we don't spawn. Oh God in heaven! Right, that's bollocks. Let's not do that. Let's not fade it there. This is the bit that actually. This is the bit that spawns. Oh, this is the secondary CPH spawn. Actually, that should already be done. Fade out when we're pretty much ready, which will be that one. Well, what I love, you get the entire intro sequence, then it calls a function called start intro right at the end of it. What I'll probably do is store a number of successful builds a bit better than that. So now the cockpit won't engage the low pass and the fade until we're ready. Like, i.e., the base has spawned a bit. Now, right now, it just drops you in, and I've picked 19 as some sort of bare minimum, but that's probably quite low. Don't tell me I broke it, no. Maybe I did. Damn it. So I'm assuming that screen fade didn't get kicked off. So where do we fade from black to say here we spawn? I mean, so I don't know, where is that? Pretentious. Why wasn't that appearing earlier? What's? Don't do that. Let's keep that on for a moment. I'm trying to make this neater and remove, at least if I've got interdependencies, try to make them a bit more understandable. So it just went off into very rapidly. I don't really know what's going on. As you've probably noticed. I want to try and make this swish though. Fade in, fade out. No jolts or flicks or whirls or any of that horror. There we go. Generating impact. Locating base. Right, I'm going to go get more coffee because I think I'm going to need it, and then we'll do that again. So it looks like the text is fading in, which is fine because I've overridden that. But again, we want something on the screen to show what's going on. Back in a sec with coffee. Right. Wow. Okay. Okay. Right. That. I do just need to. How can I phrase it? I've been brute forcing it, but not necessarily checking it. So what will happen is it will hold you on that screen. Maybe it'll give you stat information until that's done, or helpful hints, or even welcome to. We're here, fade from black. Um, I love it just stops there. I have no idea what's going on. I genuinely don't know. And then it goes down again. Huh? And we still start the wrong way around. Right, so let's have a look at this code a minute. I think we're actually getting there. Let's do a commit, because we're getting there on that end. I've got a bit too much debug on. Oops, wrong button. until it was done. I think essentially what I want to do is just that is 0. So fade to build, back to 0. The idea is that the player will probably be made to walk slowly. I did remember the intro to Borderlands 2, but very much like that. Wait, if we build from entity... yeah, okay. That's so if we do build... sort of, we just built over ourselves. Okay, so yeah, I think it should be if build failed, base build progression equals 0, return. So that's pretty easy doing it than that. So that means we should return false. Yeah. Okay, so only when the entire ramp plus landing area is complete do we start to build the base. Now hopefully this should be a little more reliable. I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll see if I fix the screen fade too. Hello, Puska. what's that? So I'm guessing now we're failing to build a part of the base. Yeah, we're probably... In fact, we're failing quite badly. See, this is where sometimes it just generates and goes, yeah, that's cool, no problems. And then sometimes it goes, nah, nah. Where from, sorry? Weapons select script, line 70. What's going on there? Okay, that's fine. It's a bit spaffy, but it's okay. Debug.log cph base build fail at offset Z cph base build ramp fail resetting. So what should have happened is it should have striped through and dumped in all the commands, and then essentially it just tries again. I'm almost surprised it doesn't succeed the second time. Oh no, that's it. There's a call for the cryo. So what happens is if you've delved in the FortressCraft code, you say build, but that doesn't actually do anything. That just queues up a threaded command. So sometimes we actually jam the build right in directly. Okay, so what's going on? Nothing. It's not. I got another. Wait, how is the base ready? How do we decide the base was ready? There is the issue. Oh, we return false. Return true. Please keep building. I got the return the wrong way around. The return means not we completed, but we haven't completed. Oh man, where's the remote control for my camera? Lost it. Right. So those shouldn't be, because I thought I already fixed that. SIJs, survival injection entity. Shouldn't be activating until we still. Why are we archiving stuff? So now I don't know what's going on. I think the base is flipped already again, somehow. Even though, I'd like to point out, it definitely hasn't. Attach Unity debugger. Base ready is true! Yeah, see, that's my issue, is it's really not. I can. Let me just force the game in, because I want to check whether that's really a hole or whether it just looks like a hole. What's it called? Now the game should, yeah, it just did the flick and then should go, yep, right, let's go. Right, so is that a real hole? Yes, that's a real hole. So I absolutely did not build that at all whatsoever. So that only happens if we return false. Huh? If we don't have the segment, we will return true. If we build something, build failed becomes true. Bye-bye. If build failed or LB did build. I essentially want to have a two-step process here, so that we definitely do the... we definitely got the ramp done. And I'll probably making the ramp more detailed. And then the player will be... doing the other thing is, if you're on a slow computer, quite easily, the door won't open until you until it's generated. So that's also a fancy trick that I'm planning on doing. Fancy trick. Yes, me and my fancy tricks. Morning, Vieira. Blip, blip, blip. That's fine. That's fine. But see, I'm not really sure what it's doing now. That's the thing. It's doing the wrong thing, but I don't know what it's doing now. I mean, here, it's just said build ramp fail. So that returns true out of here. Resets the build progression to 0, because that's as far as we got. Hang on. Yeah, okay, so we're going to remove that. Hold on, or are we? That probably should be max ramp build distance. Did you get any of those? Let me get rid of these damn messages. I'd like to fix all these, I would, but it ain't happened in a while. To be honest, I think else base build progression equals max ramp build dist. I don't think this is an all or none. I don't think this is a progressive one. We've either done it or we haven't. And I might as well just predict that off base build ready. Might be a smaller number than that, we'll see. How is that a 150? Right, I can see it's not. Like that's a again that's a hole. That's a graphics FLID because we were overdoing it, and that's okay. What I can do, so I can say if build failed, I can do this. If build failed, return true. Build one stripe. Now I think this works fine, but the problem is it takes 60 seconds to make the ramp because it's 180 meters and it'll be a bit less than that, 40 seconds. But this is reliable because the problem is that I am putting in a huge amount of commands, and I suspect I'm literally. I'm kind of surprised it isn't working. Oh no, that's not just, that's one block. So what I can do is build failed. I don't know why there's a continue there. Blip. So what I can do, if we build failed, that makes more sense. That might have been why I had a derp before. I think I was doing one block. So now we'll do one entire stripe. If for any reason it fails, we'll stop, and then we will go back to the previous stripe and we will start again. Do we start again? Is that, see, this has all got a little bit confuzzling. I think if I fail, I need to go back to build offset 0, because what will happen is we'll rush back through, and that's fine. Like, if it exists, it's okay. And once it's going, I should be able to complete a segment in... yeah, so it'll take 3 seconds to complete a segment, so I will... might twiddle the ratio, but I want to make it a bit more reliable. I've had it work perfectly once, but that was just... there's just too much timing randomness, unfortunately, I think is the part of the issue here. And that happens when you just slam the build system as hard as you can. What? What? Clearly a lie. Huh? If build failed, return true. And then we reset back to the zero. Actually, we'll only do this here, so... yeah, so this is probably the issue, is the way I've done this. Okay, so... okay, so... base rate equals false. Int I equals 0. 0 is less than... no, I is less than... max... yeah, max build distance. Yeah, Peter, I will be going back to mix. I just haven't... well, I need to set up a new mixer channel. I need to stream to my mixer channel. And that means I need to link restream to it. Do that now while I think about it. Mixer now supports... no, it doesn't. Restream now supports... no. Restream now supports FTL. And I'm like, oh, I can multi-stream with FTL. Now I am interested. I just need my, hold on, add channel, mixer, connect mixer. But yeah, I really like Mixer. But it should be on DGR because 646. The Projector Games channel is going... the Projector Games channel is now renamed to Gnomed, I think it is. Why are you still telling me about the wrong keyframe? Anyway, that's it. I should be live on Mixer 646 now. DGR because 646, which is, you know, that's me. Yo, DGR because 646 in the house. Be curious to know if FTL is working too. Okay, so if update bears with equals true, ln fails left minus minus. If ln fails left is less than 0, break. I'll refresh and see if it works. I'd be curious to know whether or not it is working, like whether or not FTL is working, because that would be really cool. Honestly, the fact that Twitch has a low latency mode and doesn't work, it's just so good. That said, I was watching Channel 1 last night. They were doing Trials... whatever it's called. But it was really annoying because it was really not very fast. Like, it kept on going wrong. Like, really, really, really wrong. Well, the text is working. I might be. I need to bounce the stream. Shall I bounce the stream? No, hold on. It says offline. Hold on. Back in a sec. Okay, that may or may not be up now. Who knows? Sending data, it says. Then it says offline. Why does it say offline? Sending data. Offline. What do you mean offline? Why? Oh, it is working, is it? Hey! So how's the lag? Hmm. 10, 11. Okay, low latency is grayed out. The channel is not streaming in low latency. So they sent me an email about this, but I will admit I didn't read it. And I only noticed the email because I searched Mixer. Because I was seeing if they'd partner me yet. Restream now supports Mixer FTL. Been sure to download the latest version of OBS. Yes, and follow this guide. And I'm pretty sure the guide just said, don't do anything you like. Ah, right, I need to be on Restream. Right, I'll be back in a sec. I'm back. Now, the thing is, right now, all of the channels should be pretty much up to the second. And holy shit. Can you hear that? Hold on. FTL test. Holy shit, that is unbelievable. That is just banana. Okay, so let's just compare and contrast. You can hear I'm an echo on Mixer. Let's listen to myself on YouTube, shall we? So here I am talking to myself on YouTube. It's not an echo here, is it? So ping 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 seconds. Let's go to Twitch. Let's try Twitch. This is my point. This is why Mixer is just better. Here we are on Twitch. Waiting for ping. Let's try Twitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 seconds. Yeah, you see, Mixer for the fucking win. Awesome. I don't have to hear myself anymore, so that's even better. Okay, I'll back to rewrite my code. I think I already am, Peter. But they're crap. My point is they are, like, the FTL protocol was just designed for this from the ground up. And as I was saying yesterday, it is genuinely not rocket science to have a streaming system that will automatically cope with doing this. Genuinely, it's not hard. I don't mind a 5-second delay. Nobody minds a 5-second delay. The point is, if you're at 6 seconds, just run the stream quicker until you're at 5. And I don't mean double the speed, I mean run at a couple of percent. And I do not know why they don't do that. Absolutely no idea why that doesn't happen. Unrelated, I haven't received any spam emails yet about PacketStorm. I will receive so many emails going, hello, your game looks great. I really like how your game works. Can I have some keys for me and my friends? This will not happen. I think that will work. So we basically run out the entire base, do a stripe, and now that won't work. Oh, well, we'll see. But now we can afford 4 fails. So we'll see if I've improved it. Yeah, PacketStorm got released yesterday. Selling like hotcakes. Not very hot cakes, that's to be said. Selling like slightly warm cakes. Allow me to give you the stats. PacketStorm has so far sold 7 copies. Adapter has so far sold 161 copies. Or 75. I'll admit I'm not really sure. Let's see how much money PacketStorm has made me. Let's talk about money. Oh yeah, $54. Oh, unless that's just keys. Yeah, because hilariously, Valve still refer to them as retail units, meaning keys sold in a store. And it's like, yeah, that's not true. That is a lie. But yeah, certainly based on Pete and Steve's feedback, I might reduce the rate at which you get RP. Because it was just forever. It just took forever and it was boring. And now I've made it a bit too quick. But hey, only 7 people have played it, so that's better. As you can see, the problem is it's too slow like this. This is not quick. Okay, what? I don't know why it's failing. I mean, it's got to here. But we didn't fail. All the builds succeeded. So that means we built something. Huh? Is that one segment? Yeah, we've... It's like this segment hasn't paged. Is it World Frustrum? Just change the set. This just lets me see stuff. It doesn't actually shouldn't actually change the generation. Just lets me see what's going on. Yes, good, good. It appears to have got itself in a state. Yeah, so it will now generate further, and that's cool, but that just lets me see. Otherwise, the player frustrum just isn't big enough. So you can see where it's actually generating now. Now, what happens is it will generate the ramp, generates the base, creates the ramp, creates the base, and then it flips into base ready mode. And at that point, we start to generate the base. So this means that I've got a much smarter level generation system than we used to have. Now, for my PC, it doesn't matter. It makes no difference whatsoever. My PC is fast and glorious. That's amazing. And now it thinks it's... Oh, it is done. And bop. See, there's the problem. Is I don't really know why it was failing. So if it's a page fail, it will continue through. CPA spate page fail. But yeah, with PacketStorm, I would love to be able to say, hey, cool, let's get some ideas and do a patch, but I just don't think it's worth it. Genuinely, if I could get a big streamer, like someone who gets a few thousand views, and he's like, I love this game, let's do more, then absolutely. But that ain't the case. It's just not. So if for some reason I could get a really big streamer and he's like, yeah, I really love this game, then it would be worth continuing. As it is, not so much. So that's better. But now, why is it failing? It's failing to page, but I don't know why. Now, if it's failing to page, that means something else is busy doing it. But what we see, we should be paging in all the segments, all of them. So between there and there, if we have failed to get the segment, we do. It's only when we've got a segment we fail to build that we will reset. Let's say here, if build fails, so that means we said, hey, can we build? And we didn't for whatever. Wait, hold on, build failed. Why would we ever get a build failed? I don't think we would. Build failed means that we returned true? Oh. I think that might be as false. Yeah, I think I got the wrong way around. Haha. Returns false true if this is already there. Oh no, oh, hold on. No, that's correct, that's correct. So if we return true, just checking return false if there's an error. Yeah, so if it's already the same, we actually check rather than spaffing a build order that does exactly the same thing. We just that to be fair, that line of code there shouldn't execute because we already checked, but due to the threading issues and timing and all that sort of fun, I can never assume. And I'm being messaged. But a page fail means that we said, hey, can we have this segment? And it goes, no. And that's fine. But that segment should then exist within a very short period of time. Unless something is stalling it. And that will creation request. Actually, this is actually one level too deep, isn't it? Not there. Yeah, we call it temp get segment. There isn't a get segment. I've considered writing one because here we request the segment, which means that we try and enqueue the request, though it might fail. If wait, hold on, does try and queue not? Really? Non-blocking? Finally return true. It's possible that we are so hammering it. I tried to enqueue request, but we failed. We might be seeing these at this point. I might still be just hammering far too many requests. It's possible. We shall see. Oh, I'm surprised that, hold on, let me, I did update it. Update all. Okay, it's probably updated. I can do FortressCraft 2 words or FortressCraft 1 word. There we go. Fixed. Really? Oh, wow. It's sad, isn't it, Peter? It is a sad state of affairs, isn't it? When you and I go, oh my God, something is kind of working exactly as it should be. And this is what made me sad. I mentioned this before about my Chromecast. I highly recommended my Chromecast to people. because it worked really well. And then I realised I was fundamentally recommending something because it did exactly what it's supposed to. Whereas nearly everything else I own doesn't. Like yesterday, I've been having weird car issues, and we solved them yesterday. The grounding leader corroded, so it wasn't earthing the engine properly. Stuff like that. Oh wait, that seems wait. We've actually requested too many, so that's. Wait, really? Wait, really? That means that we've had more than 250 machine segments requested. And that's the issue. I've overloaded something. I've probably overloaded something ridiculously and dumbly. So let's check. But it's a terrible set of affairs where say when I'm recommending anything because yeah, it does what's it's supposed to. It actually works. Okay, so I haven't necessarily named this frustrum. Requestments for machine frustrum. Oh, that's interesting. So temp get segment is a machine entity, so I don't know if we actually have one. Actually, I'll tell you what I should do by default is right, so that's a little handy thing. I have now named all of the frustums. So beforehand they weren't named. They were all called unnamed.
Oh, well, that didn't work. That's interesting. And I'm 99% sure that's ours, but I'm a bit confused why it's not named. So the segment's full. That's it. When the segment's full, that means I've got at least 250 segment requests queued up. But how's the name though? Wait, where's the bit of code I just wrote? Oh, wait, Wait, hold on. We've got a name and an M name. Okay, we might get a few. It looks like I've got almost the same variable name in the base class and the main class. It's this sort of cleanup that I would have always liked to have done on FortressCraft 1, but didn't. Yeah, so hold on. That means that the central power hub. Okay, I'm gonna. Can I peek? I hope I can peek. Oh man, is there not a dot try peek? This might be a bug. I find it hard to believe that I've actually queued 200. If I have, that's a bug in itself. No, not public. Try peek. Oh, a segment creation request. Now that means we know that we've got 250 of them. There's no point in that. Like I know that the CPH is now queued up 250. Okay, else. Oh God. I think request.x : I think that's right. This will show me all of the queue requests anyway. I mean, it's just simply, for some reason, it might be that I've accidentally got the map stuff left on, because the map stuff will queue up the entire surface for paging in eventually, but it shouldn't do that until we're ready. I mean, it might be I've got just going to check that now I've just said that, because I realize I haven't 100%. Oh God, this is a lot of close all but this. Base ready. Yeah, that's fine. So we don't do the up. So it could be any of these. To be honest, I think I should probably do a bunch of those other ones until base ready. I'm sure the system is capable of doing this, but of course, if I'm trying to page in the surface and page in the mobs and generate the hives and do the attack clearance and this and that and this and that and this and that. Did we actually get any fails that time? No. Wait, we're not getting any page fails either. We're getting build fails. Build fails. I thought those are the ones I said would never happen. But this is the point. Something has interrupted it. Update base build. Attempt get segment. Request machine 7 for frustrum. Else should have got a billion in one of these. I can't stand that error message. I wish they get rid of it. Right, I can immediately see a bug here, you see. That's kind of the point. So if I go to collapse and turn those off, okay, all of the page requests should be unique. That's the point. No, it queued those up twice. So I'm nowhere near 250. I mean, I'm not seeing very many. Wait, hold on. I'm not really seeing very many requests. I'm wondering if I should do something like, if we have done a page request and it is the start of a new segment, don't do any more. But we weren't getting this message, and all I've really done is I've added a printf, because printf slow things down a lot. But now we were getting CPH base build fail, which means that we said, hey, can you do a build? And it went, nope. So I shouldn't be seeing this when you say. I'm gonna go grab a drink and turn the light on so you can watch the kiddie betterer. And who will now give me a look like he's being fed. He's not getting fed again. He'll explode. See if he followed me out to beg for food and then noticed he already had food. Okay. I'm actually a bit surprised because I don't really think I actually had that many build orders. I mean, honestly, I didn't. Now we're getting build fail. Okay, we've got collapse on, huh? Let's see. Do not collapse. Do show. Tell the messages. Right, what? That means build from entity failed, but not due to nah. Huh? So I've got a message here that says CPH base build fail, which is fine. That means that build from entity returned false. Now, if we're not a server, it returns false, which is fine. Message there. Message there. That's true. Oh, no, wait, that's fine. That is false. It's just an error message. Don't need to worry about it. Right. If we page failed, why did we page fail? I think we page failed because we queued something up, which is fine and valid. So we page failed, we'll continue to page in request, but we don't page 250 in. So we are dealing with a section here, 128 meters long, which is 8. And how tall is it? 1. So maximum 2 segments, 16. And maximum 2 segments. So this system can only page in a total of 32 segments. That's it. Should only page in a maximum 32 segments. Now I might be able to get the number I want. I might not. Log warning base not ready, and it is question.creation. No, where is it? Build from entity. So much code. Cube. Wait, network manager. That's not that one. Well, it's not build orders. It is segment queuing. It is our frustum. Okay. Attempt get segment. Request machine segment for frustum. Oh, that's not public. Okay, it's now public. Just so I can query the length of it. I've got that. I just segment manager thread. Okay. Now I've just realized, you know, that I was like, hey, I shouldn't need to write that. Actually, I think I do. I haven't had that go wrong again. But I have no... This is 250 for the whole world. The player is 3 by 3 by 3, so the player takes up 27. I should have a huge number free. I really should. There should be just tons of these things left over with no, just not used up. Oh, I can't see the console. I need to wait for it to finish. It will finish, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so we're... But nothing else is paged in. This is my point. The system should just be dealing with... The system should just be dealing with my requests. Okay, now the fact it's never achieving anything is beginning to... Are we getting as far as here? Attached debugger. Yes, okay. How many are there? 0, right. Queued up, okay. Total creation in queued. So we've only enqueued 57 things, and then we kick the thread. And then we go... Oh, that's... Alright. That's fine. But why are we getting so many millions of fails up here? Check it's from the right place. Central Power Hub. Right, why is segment not in a good state? So the segment exists, but it's not in a good state because probably initial generation is not complete. No, initial generation complete. Ugh. Goes to true, hopefully in one place. Oh my lord. So these are all really old calls. Now we have a function that just says, is segment in a good state, which checks everything, rather than this horrendous line of code. So that's the only place we do it is here. Set initial generation complete. And that happens on a network when the terrain generates it, or when the... I am going to have a suspicion it's down to my distance hack. This is my suspicion. So the distance hack, all it does is it doesn't allow the player's frustum to expand until... I know it is doing it. It is. There's something getting in the way, but it is progressing. I don't quite understand what it's doing. So we know for a fact we're going to be generating. We know for a fact that's there. We absolutely 100%. Generate segment from Berlin. See, now it's completed it. So it does complete it. Takes a while, but it does do it. Something is interrupting or hammering or... And why is that animating? I have a sneaky suspicion what it's doing is it's trying to pick a player frustum first. So terrain gen thread. Close all but this. So terrain gen thread. When does it? What makes it tick? I can't remember. That's the thing with a lot of these. There's so much. Okay, so I guess I need to get into a state where it's going, So here we go, we're asleep, we're failing to page, so probably... Oh, no, hold on. Oh, there we go, that took a... So we have 4 world frustrums, and only if those are complete do we start going on to the machine frustrums. Now, I think what's going to happen is we're not going to make it through to the machine frustum section. Oh, well, I'm wrong. Now, this is where we don't have any sort of priority system. I think it's dumb. I think it simply runs over the segments machine frustrums in order. Now, the problem with that is it might mean, for instance, that a plant gets serviced, all the plants get serviced for the CPH. Great, we've got no name. Brilliant. How these all unnamed? That shouldn't be possible anymore. Remember, I put... Okay, so this is Central Power Hub, which is number 3. How are these unnamed? Why does the CPH have multiple frustrums? Oh, god damn it. Is that right, Peter? You've probably... I need like Mad Vandal or someone to tell me if I'm being an idiot, or Steve. The CPH appears to have a lot of machine frustums. That seems wrong. I thought one machine had one machine frustum. That would explain, because now we've got... God knows, that's... excuse me. Unless those are just references back to the same machine frustum, which is also possible. So... If segment is null, create a frustrum for that. Okay, I'll tell you what, let's put some debug, because I suspect this is wrong. Debug.log warning. Created frustrum 0, frustrum of type this.m type. I wonder if there are 27 of them because there are 27 CPHs. There are 27 CPHs. That would make some sense. Yeah, okay. So there are 27 CPH frustums. That's fine. It's all kind of like weirdly shared data. So if I say create something for this frustum, that's fine. Only the central one should call. That is not a problem. That is fine and dandy. As long as we don't create any more. What I'll do is I will call it... And I'm just going to 100% check under no circumstances that any of this happened for anything except the center. MB is center, yeah. And this is one of the reasons I don't like people elevating. So, if the player is moving around really quickly, that means the machines can't page in. Only one thing can page in at once. It is fundamentally at the bottom of it. Only one stuff can happen at once. There are 30 frustrums. That's fine. So there are 27 for the CPH. And that's something I should probably think about. Not right now. Let's get this working. But multi-block machines probably shouldn't grab a frustum for each
for the child objects. They just don't need to. Or they should generate a frustum of size 1.
Actually, let's have a look at that. So machine frustrums. Let's pick that one because it possibly can't possibly be the center. Well, how big is it? Oh, it's only got one segment in it, so that's fine. So one of these will have more than one segment. Or they'll have 0. So it could be the last one, 27. Segments 1, segments 1, segments 1, 1, 1. Okay, getting a little bit suspicious now. Wait. No, segments 1. Ah, there we go. That's the... oh, wait, hold on. What's that? Base. Right, so number 1. So there's the hive entity. Hive entity. I don't know how it's an unnamed one. So that's weird. There's a hive entity somewhere in the system that spawned before the CPH. Now that's the thing. The hive. I will need to make sure in a second that the hive entity does not go paging in stuff, because the hives obviously do a whole bunch of work, but they are not allowed to do work until the CPH has done it. CPH should have priority. So I'm hoping we get to this point here. So I'm hoping we get to number 3. Alan, this is frustrum required generation. Oh, that machine frustrum. Wait. So the CPH one thinks it doesn't require generation. Well, that's the issue. So yeah, it will pick. I don't know what it will pick. It will pick something. Nope, it's not picked anything. It's not found anything to pick. So for some reason, this wouldn't be a problem if I wasn't trying to push the generation system to quite such a length. So we are getting these messages. So blah 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 has finished work, blah blah has finished work. But that's fine. So it's going to sleep. Required gen equals false. Yeah, you see, to do. I'm seeing this comment that says to do race condition. Going. Yes, that is actually a good point. So potentially, and I guess it's quite unlikely. So what happens here is we run over all the frustrums, and for each frustum, we run over all the segments. Now, if any of the segments need work, we go, righto, that's fine. And if we finish them all, we go, right, doesn't need any work. But at the same time, on a different thread, and in this case, to a huge freaking degree, right at this point, we are hammering it, going some more. So we request the segment, and then we enqueue it. And we click the thread, which should wake it up. DQ. Yeah, so if it exists on disk, we do that. Otherwise, we go, ooh, it needs generation. But if we get to this line of code here, and we at the same time as we hit this line of code here, which is not really very likely, but is possible, what will happen is we'll say, we need generation, and then it will go, oh no, you don't. Now, I could potentially avoid it by skipping that, but that will start to make this take more CPU time. I'll tell you what. Error. Didn't need gen, but has segment. But yeah, it's amusing when I'm going, I wonder if that could be the case, and there's a comment saying that could be the case. This is what I've said this to you guys before. There's no such thing as a bug that goes away. If a bug goes away, a bug comes back. That's how it works. Always. Bright side is these are good fixes. These are good fixes I'm making. Bang. There we go. Now this isn't something that happens a lot because it would have screwed me over. So what's happened? Somehow all this, the machine frustum itself has flipped to I don't need generation, but the segments within it have.
Look, I can fix it, and the fix is easy. Run that bit of code, enable it. But the problem with that is potentially at the point where the entire base is running, we're looking at the terrain generation thread taking an enormous amount of time because it's doing sanity checking. I don't have a good solution. I'll tell you what, for now, let me flip that to true and see if that fixes it. It's a timing issue, I'm fairly sure of that. Oh, look. I'm borrowing a slight graphics dirt. There we go. Yeah. I'm not even going to ask why the torches aren't lit. Now, how many times did it go? I think it may have only gone wrong once. Now, this might actually be a startup issue. It's possible, though. This was a page fail, wasn't it? Attempt get segment. Segment's in a good state. Okay, so we don't actually own a frustrum, do we? No, because we could be owned by many. Those are all the segments we are owned by. So I can actually do a sanity check there. Okay, so here we could do, if frustrum dot equals false and frustrum dot mb requires load equals false, debug dot log error segment check error. The higher up I can fix this, the better. But I'm afraid the correct solution is to put a guard and a lock on that, which is probably not going to be very far. Oh, that's good to know. Microsoft have just announced the HoloLens 2. I think they didn't release the HoloLens 1, but hey.
Okay, so text.string. Okay, now interestingly, if I switch on select segment, so if the process requires loading, select segment for loading. I'm wondering if we actually, I think we'll actually go, ooh, no. Yeah. It can also mean something higher up dirt, and loading takes priority over generation. So we attempted to load and it wasn't there, so now we're attempting to gen. I can't help it if I'm nerdier than you, Chris. I'm just basically, you're just mainstream, man. I'm cool. I'm nerdy. So I used to like computer games back when it was cool. Oh, you missed the thing earlier. I don't know if you've actually seen it. Someone has done a data grab of Wipeout, so you can now run Wipeout the world in your web browser. And I think you're probably about the right age. I don't know what you were playing back at this point in computer gaming history, but I was saying Wipeout was the game that made gaming cool. Before Wipeout, gaming wasn't cool. I'm cool. I like pointing that out. And this was the game, 91, I think it was, where you could actually play a game and mention playing a game in public, and people wouldn't have called you a massive nerd. And it's properly, just to seeing it run at 4K resolution at 60 frames a second is just unbelievable. I think it ran at 30. Yeah, but I would say the thing about Wipeout was it had music by Left Field and the Chemical Brothers and the Prodigy and what was that other guy? And it was cool. Like, it was actually, oh yeah, this actually has exclusive tracks by the Prodigy. Like, oh, no way. And before then, it was like, you're playing a computer game. Chemical Brothers, that was the one, yeah. Fun fact, they're called the Dust Brothers in America because they weren't allowed to call themselves the Chemical Brothers because of the drug reference. Is that interesting? I don't know. You would come along on a Friday, by the way, because Friday's FortressCraft Day. I just released the game on Steam yesterday, which has sold 7 copies. Woohoo! And I've been working on a survival game. Which is interesting, which is a word I use a lot. Don't care. Which is an interesting one because I am doing a clone of Rust, but I've never played Rust. So I'm doing a clone of what I think Rust is. And quite frankly, I'm mostly basing it on the bits that aren't combat from you having played DayZ. That's my main experience with survival games. Whiplash. No. Whiplash. What, that game? Whiplash? I don't think I know it. It's got a bunny rabbit in it. Nope, don't remember Whiplash. Nubs. No, full multiplayer. I'm using a new network backend called Bolt, which is quite good. Boot that up set. Yes, I'm using a network backend called Bolt, which actually lets me do some rather cool stuff. The main challenge is genuinely, I mean, I watch you play DayZ quite a bunch, and I genuinely do slag off all of these survival games for one big reason, is they run like utter shit. And the biggest challenge so far has been making it not run like shit. It's a genuine difficult challenge that I've been going through. Hey, look at that. That's what we wanted to see. There is our generation. It's perfect. Look at that. It's perfect. And the base has generated and the lights are off. There we go. Good God. Well, my main problem is, actually, I'll show you this. My main problem is the vegetation more than anything else. So we're currently running at something horrendous, like 6 milliseconds per frame, just to generate the vegetation. So all the trees running on a thread, all the simulation running on a thread, all the networking on a thread, everything is on a thread. So it's all fully threaded, all fine. So when you, all runs network, so if someone chops down a tree, it spawns a tree object and that falls over. If you're not nearby, I don't bother picking through from server to client. So we've got all that working, it's all good. All right, I'm running at 57 frames per second right now, and that is just quite frankly not enough. And that's the problem I'm having, is keeping that performance up. And yeah, we've got occlusion culling, so if I actually stand here and stuff my face in this rock, I'm now fully cold, so I can actually view that up here from there. So now at this point, that's all I'm rendering, because I'm sticking my face in a rock, and then I'm only hitting 90 frames a second. It's an absolute nightmare. And I'm on my cheaty run around prefabs. I'm sprinting around at about 95 miles an hour. But bright side, got all, you can chop down trees, you can farm bushes for berries, and you can also build a base. So this is all modular, blah blah blah, base building shit. So as I said, I don't know much about these games, but I've been asked to write one, so I'm like, yeah, all right. So this is how I'm describing it. It's a clone of Rust written by someone who has never played Rust, or watched it, or seen it, or knows anything about it other than it seems to be a game of griefers. It's a streamer I've done shit with. You probably don't know me. He doesn't move in your circles, I don't think. He wants a survival game. Well, really? Is it not? Well, okay, well, not. There are knobs, actually. I forgot about the knobs. So, yeah, I mean, as far as I can tell, Rust is more about grinding and griefing more than anything else. Whereas this one, I don't know. At the minute, I'm just so desperately trying to keep the tech up more than anything else. That's my biggest challenge by far and away, is just frame rate. It's just simply frame rate. Once frame rate's done, hey, the rest of it should be easy. That's the plan. That's the hope. The fog's the wrong colour, but I've also got ground fog, which is also, I like ground fog. Not as such, no. But he has promised to sort of show it off when it's done and talk about it to play it, which is, as I said, since I finished FortressCraft when was it October, I've shipped 2 more games. Let me grab, and since I shipped 2 more games, I have shipped between both titles 168 units. So quite frankly, I'm done writing the games I want to write, and now I'm going to write games that people promise to show on the internet. Yeah, one problem Todd and I are both having, and we've been chatting about this, is we want to try and make it not look like a Unity game, and for some reason, putting an orange light on the player makes it look like a Unity game. And I don't know why. There's something about that that just says Unity, and I don't want that. I want to endlessly be asked the question, what engine does it use, and refuse to answer. But yeah, 168 copies of 2 different games sold in total in 4 months means that I'm done writing games myself. Yeah, well, Chris, you're welcome. I'll send you a key. I mean, I've repeatedly offered to work on shit with you before, like totally, all the time, constantly. But I think you've blocked me on Skype and you just ignore me. You didn't invite me to your wedding. But yeah, I'm currently, I've just finished, just shipped a game yesterday. FortressCraft 2 is a back burner title, and I'm now 2 days a week on this and 2 days a week on the Mixer game, which is really cool. I love the Mixer. Well, then I don't know where do you talk these days? I load Skype only when like my publisher says, can we have a meeting? I'm like, cool, I'll add you on Discord. He goes, oh, I haven't got Discord. Oh, I'll add you on Skype then. I hate Skype. I can't fucking stand Skype. Well, add me on your cool. I've got AIM. Would that my ICQ? 3258945 is my ICQ number. If you want to add me there. I wonder what my ICQ password is. I don't know. I wonder what my ICQ logon is. But yeah, as I said, it's something that Todd and I have been chatting out for a while. Is, you know, we've got a whole bunch of games on the go that we really like, but if they're not selling, then yeah. Oh man, Jedi Knight Academy is on Xbox Live, Xbox One, the 4K remake, and it's awful. I remember it being so good, and it's not. So, as you can see there, though, what we have got going so far is it looks pretty good. Now, I saw a post yesterday for another survival game, and I will quote you. This game takes place in an abandoned camping resort, meaning we'll be in nature's lap. We're going for photorealism in terms of graphics. Now, just please note, what we've got in front of you, right, is me and Todd. This is 2 people. This game I'm about to show you has 15 people working on it, and they are going for photorealistic. And I'm like, yeah, good job, guys. Yeah, HL4E Half-Life. As I said, I've never played any survival game. They are not my type of game. I have no particular interest in playing them. I've played Graveyard Keeper, which is a sort of a 2-dimensional survival game, and I have seen some screenshots of Rust. That's it. That's my entire thing. I'm so bored and tired of being accused of copying things. I'm just gonna sort of write stuff, and if I get feedback going, change that. So Schalke suggested in the base building system, when you build it, you just build a hologram and you have to hit it. So top left, we've actually got, for me, a fairly good UI. So it shows you what you need. Now I can see right now I need water, because my water is flashing. So I put my water to 50%. Yeah. Well, the thing is, the initial spec was, can you do a clone of Rust? I'm like, well, I can, but it won't be very good. Rust is the 5th most played game on Steam. Rust has made like $500 million. Attempting to compete with that is never going to happen. So I'm not going to try, because it's a stupid thing to do. So I'm going to try and write a game that I might enjoy. But as I said, having watched a couple of videos of Rust, it's just full of people in their early 20s getting together in groups and making 14-year-old kids cry, as far as I can tell. That's like a doctor saying, I fixed my gait once and I've seen photos of an arm. Yeah, but I get the basic idea. You run around, you harvest berries for food, you find bits of rope, you make a base, you find some water. To be fair, in this case, we do also have, if that's fresh water, water won't be a problem. And then so you need to keep an eye on your blood, your food, your energy. I don't know. It's about 6 months out from shipping, so we've got quite a way to go. But I think it looks nice. I mean, suns do look nice, so that's quite things. Well, the thing is, so DayZ was a weird one. So if we look at DayZ, so DayZ was a survival game. Only what it actually was, and it was supposed to be against zombies. And I think I saw you kill like 3 zombies ever, and it was mostly about basically being armor 4, if you like. So it was realistic sort of mil-spec shooter, mostly running around getting weapons and doing a lot of searching. And then when you were done with that, you just ran and ganked people, more or less. So I don't think it was ever that much in staying alive. I guess it was a bit.
But hey, maybe it's the first survival game, not the things. Oh, but yeah, it's the thing. I mean, I haven't seen you stream DayZ in a bunch of times. I've no particular interest in watching people play DayZ. It's mostly seeing for bugs in your overlay more than anything else. Does that make it better though? Because it was weird. They wanted this zombie fighting game, and accidentally wrote a PvP survival game, and then from there. Kind of now they're putting zombies in. It was weird. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad it's got better. So I did like the feel of DayZ, that kind of lonely feel, but it was mostly say a mil-spec fighting game. Yeah, but the thing about the bases is there shouldn't be much difference between a base and this, which is, you know, a cave, or will be a cave once it's done. And it's the same problem with No Man's Sky. So, I mean, I haven't played Rust, as I said, but I have played No Man's Sky a whole bunch. And as far as I can tell, No Man's Sky's base building system is exactly the same as Rust's. And it's very nice. It's nice to have somewhere to go. But fundamentally, there's no point in the base. You don't. What they did is they give you a bunch of quests, but the quests mostly give you more base, which is a bit of a bit circular. So, and we've got the level size sorted, so it's pretty big. I can't remember exactly how big it is at all. I did work out. It's a few kilometers across, so it's bigger than Rust was its ship. Which is, again, I'm trying to compete with how Rust was when it shipped, not how Rust is now. But it's mostly about ganking stuff. The Bolt networking, I mean, it all works. I mean, I can literally run this network right now. It works, just works. You can run around. Well, all you can do is you can run around, you can eat berries, which replace your food, you can drop down trees. That's it, that's all you can do. So that bit works, and it works networked, which is the important part. How it looks is something that comes much later on. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Well, the network's fine. I mean, that bit's easy, relatively speaking. Oh, it's time to participate in the hardware manufacturer survey. Go on then. Done. Oh, I did a patch for it, didn't I? Really? But so, as I said, my main bit of feedback I've got from people about survival games is generally the frame rate's crap. And I've never played Space Engineers, but I have absolutely and literally and genuinely never seen anything positive about Space Engineers. People might say nice things about it, but genuinely all I know about Space Engineers is it's really broken. And all I really know about most survival games is they run badly. More than anything else. So hopefully, I've just asked Todd, who's hopefully actually paying attention, to join. And hopefully, this is a slightly older build. Did it just crash? What? Is it because I'm running Unity in the background? Might be because I'm doing that. Wait, is that... Oh, Steam crashed. Okay. How on earth... Oh, there's a client update. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Chris, you make it sound like the network bubble, like that's just how it starts. You shouldn't go, oh, you tell you what, I should add. That's how you start from that. I mean, day one was threading out the simulation of the entities. So hopefully, yeah, hopefully Todd will be able to join me. There we go. And the trees should go. No, is that going to work? Just waiting for Todd to join. Oh yeah, if you join now, Todd. To be fair, the trees don't seem to have grown.
But hopefully, this is a slightly older version, so it's got the old version of, well, everything really. But all this has... Wait, how have we got the base building stuff in? Where's Todd? He should spawn over here somewhere. Why is my mouse so slow? Why are there no trees? Our frame rate's better though, 180. But yeah, day one, literally, network entity. Like, what happens is if I say I pick a berry, I say to the server I picked a berry, and the server goes, cool, whatever. And then it's only when a player moves in range, let's say 1 kilometer from the berry, that it actually does that. Todd, have you got trees? I don't have any trees. I don't know why. These should have been trees. I've also got base building, and that confuses me. And there's an invisible wall here. So yeah, this is just all gone. This is all gone to pot. So I need to make a new build. Oh, I think we should just keep these. Genuinely, I've had people going, "Oh, is this like Minecraft then?" I was like, "Well, because you got block boxes for arms." I'm like, "Yes, but I do have the word placeholder written on everything, and I'm still getting people asking me." Anyway, Todd, just check the networking. Can you see this tree up here? Hopefully Todd can see the tree, so hopefully if Todd comes over, Todd can hopefully hear me on stream. By the way, Todd, we've got Mixer running now with FTL, no stream, so Todd, come over and knock over the tree. Cross fingers. Hit the tree. Ta-da! We have networking. We have sync. I don't know why the trees haven't grown, but they should have. I guess I'll look at that as time goes on. But yeah, the concept of transmitting the entire world to every player. So, I know when this... It was Burnout 3. And I'd already worked on 2 Xbox Live Network games, and the lead programmer wanted to transmit the position of every single car, every single frame across the network. And I was like, just no, I don't even know why you would do it. I mean, that's not how it works. That's not how networking ever works. You transmit the bare minimum you need to. So all these trees will have to be spawned across the network, but I won't bother sending that message to the player until the player is nearby. There's just no point. You just don't do that. So I don't know why DayZ started off with, I will just transmit everything to everyone. It's just the most basic level of don't do that. Just don't. I mean, unless you've got sniper bullets that go for a kilometer, but even then what I would probably do is I've broken the tree growing in network play, fine. What I would probably do is say if player is in a if player picks up a sniper rifle, actually he does care about things a bit further away, but this is not rocket science. It's genuinely how it should ship. Oh, okay. It's because the player, the real player, not the dummy player, doesn't have to. Yeah, Bolt's really awesome. So I've used the multiplayer one. I've used UNet. The drone game I was working on, which is now abandoned, thankfully, was written in. Bolt's really good. So I can just say here, I actually get like an editor, so I can look at the physics object state. It has an interpolated physics object location, the tree state. That's not a good example. Plant state's probably a better one. Shows what's going on. It's just so great, like really great, and I love it. And I'm just so sad that all of the previous things that I've used, all of the previous networking stuff, have just been awful, like really awful. Whereas this is so UNet is what used to be the networking for Unity. But Unity decided not to for reasons that are beyond me. I think hopefully I fixed the issue. It was because the menu. Oh, well, I mean, honestly, Chris, I look at a lot of games and I go, why are you doing this? So, what was it? I played a game yesterday and I totally forgot the name of it. It was an indie game on the Xbox. I was playing it and it made me sit through a loading sequence, which I couldn't skip fine. And then when I'm done, I press go and then it started to fill the screen up with text. And kind of hey, oh no, what's happened to me? Why is everything like this? And I'm looking at it going, why the fuck were you doing that during the loading screen? Come on. It's just basic, obvious stuff. It just genuinely annoys the crap. I hate playing games so often. Properly, I hate it. Because it just badly written fucking... I also hate playing games because I got Xbox Game Pass, so I get all of them. And I hate playing them because every fucking game, the first half an hour is 25 minutes of cutscenes and explanations and just 2 minutes of 2 minutes of stuff. I just get so annoyed. And I think rightly so. I think I'm allowed to get annoyed at that. It's just me. Well... That doesn't, like... The thing is, so with networking, there's always a trade-off. One of your options is always that you can make the game less reliable, but you can make it faster. Or you can make it slower, more laggy, but more reliable. So they've obviously gone for reliability. Well, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know why that would be. Unless you've got packet loss and then the resend is 2.9 seconds or it failed to go 3 times or whatever. So what's happened here is yesterday I added the survival UI, which I think is quite swish. I like it. And I didn't test the network build, just the solo player build. And we've still got errors, but that's okay. Hopefully we have less errors. Yay! We have less errors. We're trying to instantiate. As it's null. Yeah, I mean, the thing is with that, if Tarkov, I don't know who's doing it, I don't know how experienced they are. I mean, again, this is something Todd and I, we end up dealing with an awful lot of amateur developers. And just, I look at them going, I don't think I ever was as bad as you. I may have been, but I don't think I was. I don't think so. I hope I wasn't as bad as you, because that's, you know, just players, just people just doing ridiculous things that if you were in a AAA team, your lead would go, don't do that. You're not doing that. That's not a thing you get to do. I'll give you an example. So at EA, one of the EA coding standards is that you're not allowed to use constructors. So constructors are a C++ thing. So when I create a new class, it can then initialize itself. The problem is that initialization can sometimes hide work. So you go thing equals new thing, and then it goes off and does stuff, and then you don't know why it's slow. So we had to specifically call a function to initialize. And I swear not, we found a guy, one of the juniors on our team, networking, I'll make a bill. One of the juniors on our team, in the constructor for, what would it have been? I think it was one of the cars. What it would do is you'd say car equals new car. It would then create the car object, and that would take, let's say, a nanosecond. He would then open a file on the DVD, wait for it to open, load it, and then close it. So every time you created a new one of these objects, the game would stop for in nanoseconds, 4 million nanoseconds. And that is a professional programmer in a AAA game, which is just bananas, like properly bananas. I do not understand why anyone would do that in an environment such as that. And on top of that, he did argue. Yeah, and again, yes, absolutely. Yeah, the Aliens Colonial Marines one was interesting because just the most basic amount of error checking. Like, when the game starts up, it should just say, error, I don't know what this parameter is. And again, that's something that, to be fair, in Aliens Colonial Marines, poor Gearbox were just forced to run that. Like, they were forced to program that at very short notice. They really did not have very much time. So I kind of sympathise a bit. But, more fundamentally, if your game finds a command line a parameter in an ini file it doesn't understand, it should throw a wobbly. It should go, whatever you typed, it's not what you think. I don't know, there is definite lack of care and professionalism sometimes with games these days, and I think a lot of it is very short time frames. A lot of it is people just don't care. They want it out. I would, maybe not with Aliens Colonial Marines, I would suspect this isn't the case, but a lot of the time, a lot of people, they already know about the bug. They really, really do. It's just a question of, I've shipped games with crash bugs, and I've said to my lead programmer, I can fix this. Does the bug fix carry any risk? And I'm like, yeah, it's a bit risky. So every game I've shipped has shipped with bugs in. Almost all of the bugs I knew about, and almost all of the bugs I had a fix for. And that's the sad nature of writing games. But with your example about doors, does that mean that... That means that someone can open a door, run through it, and be 2.9 seconds away from you by the time you get to open the door. You see, that's quite an exploit there. If that's certainly something that you can rely on, that's pretty bad. And I don't know, are doors important to this game? Okay, rerun Steam. Just updated it. It surprises me though with Aliens Colonial Marines that none of the QA found it. Again, I don't have a QA. Oh man, I was so excited about Deep Rock Galactic. I don't know if you guys saw the trailer. It was so good. I looked at it and went, obviously very inspired by some of the big machines we had in FortressCraft. Like their digging machine is just the Magnable, but done so well, so much better than Weaker, done by a big team in glorious art style. And then it came out, and it's a not very good Left 4 Dead clone. And I was like, oh, I'm disappointed. I was hoping that'd be good. Okay, Todd, if you can join, fingers crossed it works. So Chris, is this unknown entity ambushes you, unknown entity backstabs you, unknown entity kidney shots you, unknown entity fades? Right, I'm going to promise this is going to work because we've mostly been focusing on performance, but hopefully now, here's our test area. I'm going to chop down this tree by rubbing myself against it for a few seconds. And... oh, I rubbed myself against that tree there. Hello, tree. Supposed to fall over. There we go. Yeah, it always amused me because that meant that whatever I was killed by, didn't even get around to telling the server its name. But yeah, unknown entity backstabs you for 3,000, you die. Unknown entity fades. Just brilliant. There were people who actually did try and... There was one person per server who would always name themselves unknown entity, which was great. Okay, Todd, rub yourself up against a tree. Let's see if it falls down. So the hard part is, I mean, I don't know how many trees we've got. We've got a few thousand trees in the world now. So Todd is rubbing himself against the tree. Yeah, well, I played a mage. Yay! So fun fact, as a mage, if you were drinking water, which you did a lot in Vanilla Warcraft, you would have to... Why aren't they falling at this place? Anyway, you would have to make sure you drank your water with your back to something. So you drink the water here with your back to that, because then no one can backstab you. Last time, by the way, Todd, I let Andy play with this. He just sat here and chopped down the trees for like 10 minutes. I don't know what the collision is there, but I'll get rid of that. So yeah, that's working. That's good. But yeah, so I mean, as far as I'm aware from my testing, there's no latency, there's no lag. Messages are sent intelligently. I haven't done verification. So, for example, if Todd chops down a tree 2 kilometers away and then I walk over, I'll get the message about that that thing spawning. But yeah, it's all working fine. Mostly, I'm trying to get the tech done and the tech working, and then once that's all done, then it's performance and visuals. That's why we've got, you know, I haven't bothered. I'm not trying to do a Kickstarter. I'm not trying to sell something that doesn't really exist. I'm just trying to get all the technology working. And he has actually done these, by the way, so I should probably replace those with the non-placeholder one. Yep, trees stay forever. And tree logs do. Tree logs are very important, so yes. So remember, it's a survival game. It's about building bases. So yeah, you will slice the trees up. I mean, I can run, I don't know, 10,000 physics objects without even breaking sweat. So, yeah, just chop down the trees and you can... Because you'll want them. You won't chop down the trees for the hell of it. Like, so if we end up doing some sort of bonkers tree cutting machine later on, I suspect it would work a bit different. Trees look good, though. I'll give you full marks, Todd, for the tree texture. Happy with that. Slightly less happy with the fact I just chopped down the wrong tree, but can't have everything. I mean, it's possible someone might chop down a tree and eventually bog down the server, but it's not likely. Oh man, it looks nicer. I want to go out there. I can't. I'll see if I can work out why we can't walk through that. But yeah, I think you saw the Battle Royale game that I was working on. So thankfully, that's abandoned. The guy we were doing it with just said, I don't want to do a Battle Royale. I don't want to do it. It doesn't excite me. And I was sort of like, do you think it excites me? Like, seriously, I can't stand the game. I no interest. But that game used Unet, and I primarily did it as a what's it called? Due diligence. So I could check the networking would work for us in a real scenario. So if we were actually shipping a real game, that I could genuinely do a game in Unet. And quite frankly, I don't think it's ready. I had a chat with dentist Will Lowther. I had a chat with him about the Unity networking stuff. Okay, we should be able to leave the start area now. And I will paraphrase, but he more or less confirmed what I suspected from looking at it, is that they were contractually obliged to release it, which is fine, and it wasn't very good, which is not fine. Half-Life, I do remember Whiplash. No, I think of Motorhead. Whiplash. That was the game. This one supported one of the video accelerators, didn't it? I think it may have supported the... I'll say the Parheed. It wasn't the Parheed, it was the Matrox. Okay, I'm uploading another build now, Todd. Hopefully you're on Mixer, by the way, Todd. So when I talk to you, you get it. I mean, yeah, Voodoo. Wait, to have Voodoo 1 support. There you go. There's the back in the old days. So there is the software rendered version, and look at that. Look at the size. 320 by 200. Bottles don't rank 78. That would have been like 1024 by 768. Oh. Uploading content. Hopefully this will all work. We can explore the whole level. Yeah, my only sort of concern with everything with Survivor Game is just trying to populate the map. So Daisy did some very stupid technical decisions. So having big open areas, it's just a performance killer. It's an insane performance killer. So you don't do it. If you look at a Fortnite map, on the other hand, they have done the most astounding job of visiting. I'm not sure I can actually find a decent... That will probably do. Open image, new tab. So they've actually done a brilliant job in visiting. So you can see here, from this point here, you can see these hills. If you're standing here, you can't see anything in this direction. That's blocked, that's blocked. They've done a fantastic solution to that. So viz color only works if there's something to block the viz. If you've just got endless rolling fields, then you can't have anything. On a 2080, yeah, I should bloody hope so. I mean, to be honest, I know if I turn off our grass, we get a lot higher frame rate. And I'm going to be doing some threaded viz culling stuff. So that also has the advantage. So like I've used the FortressCraft system. So all of the trees, all of the grass, all of the bushes. So if I hit, so you can see here how the world has nothing in it. When I hit go, it populates that, and that isn't Unity side stuff. That's me. That's my. So all those magenta arrows, all those red arrows, those are all editable, cut downable trees, and they're drawn on the Unity thread because I have to. But they all simulate on the main thread, on my own thread. This means that I can have 100 million bushes growing without affecting frame rate. That means I can do my own intelligent, low-frequency threaded viz stuff. Again, it's not difficult. You just need to work it in from the beginning. Otherwise, you do what DayZ did, which is to ship it in the Armour 2 engine. I think it's Armour 2 or Armour 3, whatever it was, and then go,